All right, we're here with Austin Snapp here. He was a traveling welder for several years, and the family's company, right? You're running it now full time?
Yes, I grew up in the family business doing small production fab work.
Sweet.
Once I got out of high school, I went to Kentucky Welding Institute. Got out, traveled for 5 years. Now I'm going back to the family business, implementing the things that I learned on the road.
Sweet. So we'll dive into that as we're welding out this monster coupon in the 4-post position. So we're gonna be showing you guys how we weld this coupon out because Austin may do things differently than me. So he's got the right side, I got the left side, and we're gonna go ahead and hammer in on this.
What do we set at?
Yeah?
What do we set at?
Oh yeah, what are we set at? Yeah, that would not be a good temperature to start at. So I had this thing at like 100. It did pretty good at 100 the other day. But it runs hot. It just let me know if you, tell me what you think. All right, so honestly, I think everybody here wants to know your high school experience with welding.
My high school experience with welding or after high school?
Well, just, I guess, how you got into it. What grade did you get into welding? Like, when did you find out you liked it?
Whenever I learned, I was an early teenager. And it really piqued my interest because I was around it every day.
Mm-hmm. Is the temperature good, up or down?
It's good right now.
All right. Yeah, Austin ain't welded a pipe in a little while, so there's a whole bunch of new going on with you right now, you know what I mean? Like you just...
Yeah, doing a bunch of fab shop work, steel work. It's a lot different.
But you're getting back, like, it's cold out, he drove here, and now he's putting this route in on a monster with a 4-post on a rig, like...
You want to put your quarter in so I can see whenever
Yeah. We're on this side.
See my bottom side?
And actually, we accidentally tilted it to where that tack was way over there. You had to reach, but I just, I ain't worried about you. So anyways, continue with, so you figured it out. What grade was you in whenever you discovered welding? Did you learn how to weld at your house, or did you figure it out in high school?
Like I said, I learned my early teenage years, but my junior year of high school, that's whenever I really made the decision to go to KWI after winning first place in some regional competitions, then moving on to state, then getting the KWI scholarships. I had $8,000 in scholarships that covered...
A lot of it.
Yeah, about 80% of my tuition at the time. Looking good.
Gotcha. It looked all right?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it was all over the place. So again, this is 70S2 TIG wire. Stuff could be a pain in the butt if you don't know how to do it. It just takes a couple bad x-rays and some time to figure out 70S2. But if you think you're going to weld 70S2 like 70, if you think you're going to weld 70S2 like 70S6, you're mistaken. They weld similar, but the roots are the biggest thing. If you mess up the root with 70S2, you have to cut it out generally and refix it, and it just takes a bunch of time because...
Let it cook in a little bit longer.
Yeah, you got to turn it, what would you say, like you weld 70S2 like 10 amps hotter than normal?
I would say so, yeah. It's a little
amps.
more sticky.
Yeah.
A little more sticky, a little more silica floating around.
So something that I struggled with at KWI, and a lot of some of the viewers know, is I spent like 2 weeks on my 6010 6-inch roots. That was the hardest thing for me at KWI, and I'm just curious what is, because we were at KWI at the same time roughly, right?
Yeah, you actually started 2 months after I did.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but you left before I did. You went through the program in like 3 short months.
I did?
Yeah.
I thought I stayed the whole time.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Swear.
I stayed the whole time.
Did you?
Yes. I started in September.
When did you graduate?
April. September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April.
Well, we graduated the same month.
October, yeah.
I started October 9th, graduated April 28th.
Yeah, I left in April. I didn't leave early.
I thought you did. Same time. You were on second shift though, mostly, right?
Yeah.
No, they didn't even have second when I started. They started second right at that time.
Yeah. So what did you struggle with at KWI?
I would have to agree with you that the open root stick, not necessarily the 6-inch, but more so learning on the 3/8 plate, that was my weak point.
Gotcha. And what position?
Overhead.
Definitely.
I had to retake my 1-inch test 3 times.
Now, me personally, my biggest issue with 60-10 roots was whenever I was learning on plate, I got behind the rod and was watching the puddle. But when you're doing 60-10 pipe, you don't see the back of the puddle when you're putting the root in. So it really screwed me up when I went on the bottom and was welding, and I couldn't see I could only see the front side of the rod. I couldn't see the back side where the puddle was coming up the pipe. So I had to relearn everything on an old Lincoln 300 outside with the red rods. Remember Ashley ordered the red rods accidentally, and we had to run those hippie rods? Dude, it was bad.
They would run all the way around the rod. You'd sit there and twist the rod back and forth.
And I was trying to learn how to weld 60-10 with it. What do you want this on?
Hot pass, 145.
145?
Yeah.
Sweet. There you go. Yeah, see how this full thing does. See if that's...
I just don't like putting in a root with a full stick.
Yeah, and it's a lot of weight.
Yeah.
So generally speaking, most 4-post simulators like this, you really don't have to reach on the bottom side here with the TIG rig. Some of them you do. It all depends on how thick these posts are. If it's like you're going to test somewhere in Texas or something, honestly, most companies nowadays have you test in a 4-post. If it's a specialty company, new construction jobs, you're not going to see it as much.
I've only taken one 4-post restriction, and that was for a boiler for Day and Zimmerman.
Yeah, but why would they make you take a 4-post for a boiler job? Was you doing pipe? You were doing pipe, huh?
No, that was tubes in the...
A monster in the 4-post, though?
Monster in the 4-post, and it was for the spiral boiler.
Gotcha.
Where everything's on the 6G.
Yeah. Now, how was that job?
Everybody that I spoke to before I got to that job, that spoke of that boiler in the past, made it seem like it was
a big deal.
A big deal and hard to work on. But if you knew the right processes and the steps to boiler making, it's really not that bad.
Even if it's a weird design?
Yeah. Now,
where did that design come from for that boiler?
I'm not really sure. I know the 45-degree angle of the boiler tubes help heat dissipation and creates that Venturi effect, runs more efficiently.
But you don't see them a lot, though.
No, I think that's only 1 or 2 in the United States.
Interesting. I will. So, you go to KWI, and then we graduate close to the same time. What's your first job look like?
My first job was Procter & Gamble in Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Wait, I did a co-op there.
Yeah. Yeah, you were there with Roberto Blanco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, who'd you co-op for, Bill Finger?
No, that company that was in...
Spirit?
No, it was a Martin's... No, I wasn't doing pipe. I went up there and did the co-op, and I was just doing like the docks for the trucks.
Yeah, and handrail. I remember Roberto doing a lot of handrail.
A lot of handrail. What company? It was D&K Welding or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, out of Martinsburg. But anyways, you were up there on P&G welding pipe.
Yeah, I was there at Procter & Gamble with Bill Finger. It was all Schedule 10 stainless. I had never welded Schedule 10 stainless up until the day before I went to take that test. I came back to KWI, brushed up for about 6 hours, drove to West Virginia, and took 7 weld tests to get onto that job.
What?
Yeah.
A P&G job?
Yes.
That's like new construction type stuff, like one combo and you're good.
No, this was 7 different tests. It was very strange how they had the WPS set up.
Okay.
So for the 6-inch combo, you ran the 6-inch on 2G and 5G. The table that it was tacked to would rotate.
Okay.
You would run half of it in the 5G position, then you would get a root check, then you would tilt it up in the 2G position and weld it out that way, get another root check, tilt it down, do your 5G and 2G back and forth.
Yeah, but why so much emphasis on that?
I don't know, and that was the strictest QC I've ever had on my first job.
Ever?
Yeah.
In your whole career?
Yep.
Wow. You need, is the tungsten good, or you want to switch it?
I'm good for now.
All right.
You got
your first, huh?
You got a brush?
Yeah. Your first job was a lot like my buddy Troy's. his first job was extremely intense. Like my buddy Troy, his first job was at a nuclear plant, and it was 6 or 7 tests as well. And if you bust one, you don't get the job.
Yeah, I think you could bust one out of the 7 there. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, but so with that many weld tests, what are you welding on? Mainly.
Actually, I am going to switch this around.
Yeah, that one's gnarly.
Like I said, it was 90% Schedule 10 stainless. I maybe welded 10 carbon joints while I was there.
Jeez. So they had you take a plethora of tests.
Yeah.
Interesting. So how much was you making on this first job with 7 tests at P&G in Martinsburg,
That
Virginia?
was $34 and $125 biweekly pay. So it was pretty good paychecks.
Yeah, that ain't bad. All right,
I was there for about 5 months.
Okay. All right, we got the root in and the hot pass, so now we're going to be putting the fill in on this thing.
Ready? What are we on right now?
What are we on? We are on about 170.
All right.
It's pretty good with that wire.
Yeah.
Yep. Looking good.
Whenever we hired onto that Procter & Gamble job, we actually had to sign a agreement of disclosure to where we didn't talk about it, about the work we did there.
Really?
Yeah.
And that was because what, P&G, they were doing some kind of products there that couldn't get out to competition?
I'm not really sure. They said they were making toilet paper, paper towels, shampoo, and perfume.
Maybe, I'm gonna have to step it up too. Okay, so in most P&G plants, that's usually what they're making, but you've never signed that anywhere else, huh?
No, that was the only job.
So for a first job out of welding school, 7 weld tests, signing papers saying you can't talk about nothing, you know, that's pretty intense.
It is. I had no idea what I was getting myself into.
Yeah, you didn't. But I think it was a really good first job.
It was.
Because it put the barrier to entry extremely high.
And it was a very large scale job.
Dude, that job was nuts, man. They only had one gas station there that everybody would fight for. It was the Sheets, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right there at the start. Everybody would go there for lunch. All right. Get this thing. All right, so your first job's P&G, wide open, crazy. What's your next job look like?
My next job after that was Morgantown, West Virginia at Longview Power.
Okay.
For TEI. Actually, I take that back. That was my first job. I took a 1-week co-op there the week before I graduated.
Okay.
So that really got my foot in the door, but the Procter & Gamble was the first job on my own.
Gotcha. So that TEI boiler job, that was in Morgantown?
It was. I was doing pad welds on my first job, but everybody has to start somewhere.
Yeah, but that's okay though. I mean,
yeah, that's a good spot to learn, and everybody has to do it.
Well, and freak, my first job, I mean, that co-op job, I was welding, you know, docks for the semis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, your first, I think people trip out too much and try to get the perfect first job. Some people get it, a good first job. We was talking with Shelby the other day about her first job, and her first job was a new construction job, no x-rays, all hydro test, 40 and 100 on night shift for like 8 months.
That's one of the best first jobs you can get on.
Yeah, and I was like, well, that's awesome. I wish I had that luck, you know, with getting on jobs. Because my first job was offshore, and I didn't weld hardly any, and they were shooting severe code, and it was just very hectic. So right now we are filling this thing up. Austin's got his 2 in there, and I'm working on mine. I'm just having trouble finding the right heat to burn this the way I want it to. But I think this machine's duty cycle is...
This is my first time using the HTP.
How do you like it?
Other than the robot noises it makes, it seems pretty good.
I kind of like the robot noises. Makes me feel like I'm in like a sci-fi movie. All right. No, I just got it on stick mode. I'm still learning how to...
oh wait, you said you're still on stick mode?
Yeah.
What's it do on TIG?
Well, you have to run it through the machine for the TIG mode. I just don't have the hookup yet.
Oh, you have to run the gas through the solenoid.
Yeah, Peter's hooking me up with that. He's with HTP. He's pretty awesome. All right. We're coming up
If I like the way this machine runs good enough, I may buy one.
It's smooth, yeah.
I know we had spoke about it whenever he was at the shop back in the springtime.
I'll tell you what, see if you like that tungsten. I kind of cranked on it.
It's just the fill pass.
Huh?
I said it's just the fill pass.
Yeah, I know. It's not, it's just S2. I've been burning S6 for a little bit.
Let me see the root.
It ain't bad. I think your one side may have needed a little bit more, but dude, you ain't done it in a while.
You shit with a foam light. Yeah.
That's all right, it'll shoot.
Oh yeah.
We burnt the walls and
heavy
something's
cap.
in there. Yeah, heavy cap. Yeah, it's just sucked back a little bit. It ain't bad at all.
Under flush.
Yeah, but the walls are burnt. It'd be good for a tube job.
That's what I am. I'm a tube welder.
Austin's a tube welder, people. You were welding on header pipe on that one job, though.
I've done my fair share of both. It's been pretty much...
But you like tubes mostly.
50-50 for me,
Yeah, I like tubes as well. So, pipe's great. I just get really bored with pipe after a while. Tubes, it makes it exciting, and there's something always going on welding tubes.
Never not be looking over your shoulder.
Yeah.
A lot going on. What are we on right now?
Yeah, it's like 180.
So what was your second job?
My second job, let's see. Well, I went out to that offshore job, and then after the offshore job, I came back, hung out for like a couple months in the summer of 2018. And then towards the end of the summer, I went to United Group Services in Ohio with like core crew. And I did a job in Lima, Ohio with those guys. So it was just your typical stainless pipe job. It was like 30 and 95 or something like that. So that's my second job. So, but my first and second jobs, I was not making the most money. I was just more worried about getting some weld time. And on that job, I didn't weld too much either. It was all S2 wire and crappy Miller machines. So that was my second job. But I think my breakout job was the beginning of 2019 when I went to St. Croix. That job really saved me. Because then I was able to weld a whole bunch and catch up to what I had missed. You know what I mean?
I wanted to make it there.
Hey, I got wire if you need it right here.
No, that's all right. Might need to go down on the next layer anyway.
Okay. Turn it down?
Yeah. All right. Go 170.
All right.
That's what I like welding all my boiler tubes on.
All right.
I didn't put a third pass on that layer.
Oh, you need it?
No, go ahead.
Right.
That last bead's a little too hot.
All right. All right. So you did your first, your second job. What's your next couple jobs looking like that? Because how long have you been out? I mean, we've been out welding for what, 8 years now?
No.
7?
I got out of school in April of 2018, so I've had 6.5 years on the road and 2 years at the shop.
Gotcha. What do you like better?
I miss the road. I miss the money of the road, but the stability of the fab shop and being at home every night.
Dude, isn't that so nice? It's like the best thing ever. But also, too, it's nice because it's hard to beat a packed bag and you're going somewhere cool.
Yeah. But now I get to express my creativity and skill level a lot more. Rather than just one weld, it's more so a whole project.
Right. Oh, and that's that snow coming off the roof.
Yeah, I realized that.
Me and Lucas were trying to figure out what that was earlier. Okay, and this thing just popped off. All right.
You're filling out a little faster than I am. What happened?
I don't know. Duty cycle's up.
Duty cycle?
Oh yeah. Well, it's just a 251 and we're running off of that breaker right there, so.
That don't matter, we're only at 170 amps.
Well, tell you what. It's all glitched up.
If I can't take a weld test with a machine, I don't want it.
No, I hear you. All right, guys, so me and Austin have been welding this thing out with the TIG rig, and we're kind of just smoking it down, so the machine does not like that duty cycle. So we're gonna finish this thing out with the stick rods, and we'll show you how we each do our stick rods in the 4-post simulator with a Monster coupon. So yeah, you rock on, buddy. You fire up however you want. You go to run that top one?
Yeah.
Get it all lined up.
This thing does run hot.
Yeah, it does. It's on 86.
It was digging hard right there in the beginning. What's the hot start on?
Buddy. %? Half and half?
What does 50% mean? Does that mean it's giving 150 amps in the beginning, or half again as much?
I have not dove into it, so I'm not 100% sure. That sucker's violent, ain't it?
Yeah.
You did that in one rip. Did you, hopefully you didn't like trap anything in there?
No, never. Oh, I thought you had a hammer in your hand.
All right. You good, Lucas? Yeah. You ain't cold or nothing?
Oh, this is the mini.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, it's your turn.
So we're back in action. We've always been in action. Okay.
Fill up your top first, because we got a heavy spot down here on your side.
Heavy spot? No, we're good. I'm gonna put this top bead right here.
Yeah.
Let me get her flush. All right, let's see. All right. So what's the craziest thing that's ever happened to you on a job? I guess welding-wise or lifestyle experience? Like, did you, I guess, well, maybe this might tail into it. What's the best place you ever went to weld?
My most memorable welding job would be Swim, Washington. Actually, Port Townsend, Washington. It was a paper mill that used recycled paper there. It was a 7-day emergency, paying $44 and $150, and they paid for the flight, lodging, rental car, all expenses paid, and tax-free too. So,
everything?
Yeah, no weld test either.
Really?
No weld test, no drug test.
So how did they know you were? How do they know you were adequate to be on that job?
I just got wrecked in by 2 people that were already out there.
Gotcha. And they knew you could weld and do things.
The 2 people that were there knew of my skill level, so they got me and another one of my buddies to fly out.
Gotcha. Okay. So that was Washington, and that was a week long?
It was. They wanted us to stay for a little bit longer, but we had already packed our bags by the time they asked us that question.
Really?
Yeah.
You all were already home in your mind?
Yeah, we were. We were already thinking about home whenever we went into work that day because we had the car packed up.
Well, and they messed up.
But we were also coming off of 712s that we had been on for about 6 or 7 weeks.
All right. So you are pretty wore out.
Yeah. And whenever we were there in Washington, we worked 7 16-hour shifts, so it was
7 16-hour shifts.
Yeah. On night shift too.
Jeez. There we go. Yeah, I just went ahead and just did the whole side. Got this miniature little scraper here. All right. So that was your most memorable job in Washington.
Yeah, I think so.
You know what's weird? We worked on a boiler job together in EKP, didn't we?
We did. East Kentucky Power in Maysville. Where's the hot start on this?
Here. So we just turned the hot start down to 10%.
It was digging a little too hard and pushing metal out of the bottom. Oh, that's a lot better.
It wasn't too much.
No.
Oh yeah, that's 10 times better. So then being out in the industry for 6 years and 2 years in the fab shop, what's the biggest piece of advice that you wish you had known before you got into the welding industry? And I guess what I'm curious about is there two different pieces of advices for field welding and traveling than there would be the shop aspect? Or would the piece of advice be the same for both traveling and welding and owning your own shop? Oh, you're good. Yeah, it's your turn. You do your whole side.
Oh, no. Well, yeah, we'll do that.
But you know what I mean? Because I just like to do one whole side because
Yeah.
you're already in the motion of it.
Yeah,
to keep
yeah.
the fluidity of it.
Biggest tip about welding or just the road in general?
I don't know. However you want to, because they're probably different. There's probably like, what's the best tip about traveling and welding, and then what's a good tip about welding in general, or what's the biggest thing that you...
The biggest tip about welding that I tell every welder, new or experienced, look at your bead, don't look at your arc.
Right.
Look behind you, don't
Yeah,
look...
because everybody looks at the end of the rod and
Yeah.
all this cool stuff happening.
Yeah, look how that slag's forming behind your puddle.
Exactly.
See what it's doing. If there's bubbles in it, stop immediately.
Stop. All right, we're getting this monster coupon welded out. We're about halfway done with this monster coupon here. It's Austin's side and there's my side. When you get to a certain point in your welding career, these weld tests are just like...
Just another weld.
Just another weld. It's just like a bunch of time. And what I've been telling people, what I figured out and what I tell people is the biggest thing I wish I had known is quit thinking about it so much. Like I would overanalyze everything and just think about the weld and instead of just doing it.
Don't even think about your weld test day.
Yeah.
Just do it like you would as you were practicing.
Any other day, correct.
Yeah. Don't even think about the time limit, because if you practice like you already had a time limit, you shouldn't have an issue whenever you go to actually do the test, because 90% of places, they give you about 4 hours to do it.
And that's a long time.
That's a very long time.
That's a long time. You could probably run to the gas station and go get some drinks.
I could weld out 3 of these in that 4 hours.
Yeah. And then go to a restaurant for lunch.
Whenever I was instructing at KWI, I timed myself to see how fast I could do a stick-out monster, and it was 48 minutes.
Really? So how did you, I mean, what did you use, 1/8" rods?
No, that was actually with 332.
Really?
Yes.
Golly, dude. 45 minutes for a stick out monster.
48 minutes.
40, you're moving. So what does the setup for that look like? Like, how do you prepare? Like, how'd you have your booth set up? Like,
I was actually in the pipe lab whenever I done it.
really?
Yeah, I had it, it was whenever they had the old pipe lab before the boiler simulator.
Gotcha.
But I had it set up about on the same kind of stand we did here. And I went into it thinking about the processes of it, how I was going to be fast, where I was going to cut out time. And the biggest thing is offsetting your starts at the bottom so you can eliminate all the grinding. Because if you stagger your starts, one over here, one here, one here, it's more likely to lay a lot smoother.
And you won't have to grind it.
You won't have to grind it.
Right.
And if you don't have to grind the bottom, you're going to have a smoother bead coming out of dead man's corner, as they call it, around that 6, 7, 8 o'clock angle.
Right.
And that slag is probably going to fall off if you keep a pretty consistent bead.
Yeah, so instead of doing all your starts right here, you do one here, one here, one here, one there, one
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And that's a little bit easier to do whenever you're not in a floor post. But
Correct.
I still tried to set them at an angle right here. Like your first bead will be closer to my side, your second one will be closer to you, then your third one will be the closest to you.
Correct. Yeah, because this will be the flush pass.
Then the top is the same as well. The first one
Stagger
don't come as far, the second one comes a little bit farther, than the
Gotcha.
last one comes the farthest.
Well, I tell you what, you're welding with someone who hasn't never staggered a single bead in his life. So I always just grind it and keep going. So I'm going to work on that right now. I'm going to do that.
Whenever you stick weld a bunch of heavy wall for months straight.
Oh, I know. That makes it easier.
Well, you kind of have to, or you're going to end up in a rough spot.
I always end up TIG welding all my heavy walls, so that's why I just...
Yeah. I have never been on a job where we TIG weld heavy wall, just TIG root, TIG hot, then we will stick fill and cap.
Right.
And the longest weld that I've been on was 9 days and 18 shifts.
What was it?
That was that main header connection at EKP.
Dude, that thing took forever.
Yep. Preheated to 450 degrees and maybe I don't remember the exact preheat. It may have been 350, but I just know it was very hot in there.
Dude, bro, it was so hot up there.
On any given working day, it was about 98 to 115 degrees.
Yeah, I just remember we were sweating so bad on that job.
Yeah.
Just sweating and miserable, and we were going to get popsicles out of that freaking tool room.
We couldn't eat enough popsicles to stay cool.
That's the last time I'd ever do an inside boiler, though.
They're not all that bad.
They're not. That one, I don't know. I don't think they had their vents right or something.
They only had 2 of 9 vents working.
Right.
That job was also the only time I ever got COVID.
The what?
That job, I remember when everybody got sick on that job? That
Sick?
was COVID.
Yeah. What year was that?
2020? No, 2021, sorry. Yeah, October of 2021, because I came home for Halloween.
So what do you do now that you're home? I guess what do you do with your what are your hobbies? Like, are you into something new since the last? Because, well, actually, you just got done skiing, bro.
Yeah, I snow ski on a very regular basis.
I know. So, but this weekend was one of a kind. Did you just ski nonstop? Did you just stay up there?
Last weekend, I went Friday, Saturday, Sunday, then this weekend I went Friday, Saturday, Sunday as well.
Jeez.
It snowed 8 inches last weekend and about another 4 on, what day did that storm come? Friday? Yeah, Friday, Saturday, another 4 inches. So it's been a good couple weekends.
All right.
I almost look at skiing as another outlet of learning, kind of like I did welding, because whenever I was in KWI, I really obsessed over perfecting my form, getting the best looking beads on how to do it the proper way. And it's
Yeah.
kind of been the same thing with skiing because I'm constantly
Trying to get better at it.
trying to get better. It's not something I just go for the fun of it. I'm progressively
Well, what's your
better.
end goal with skiing though, and getting good at it? Like, what what's your like, what can you see that you want to obtain? You know what I mean? You have to.
Really, it's just the self-satisfaction of having the skill to be able to do anything out west.
Gotcha, like skiing out west.
Yeah, really just big cliff jumps. It's a whole different animal out there whenever you get on a 8 to 10,000 foot mountain versus a 500 foot hill.
So, and have you been able to? Are you working up the jumping cliffs with the skis?
Oh yeah, I already have been doing small cliff jumps and some tricks, but I'm actively getting better at it.
Sweet. Would you say that's your favorite like hobby of yours?
It's my favorite wintertime hobby, yes.
Yeah.
In the summertime, I like to ride dirt bikes, but unfortunately, me and Keegan here haven't been able to get anything planned.
Yeah, why don't we do that?
He's a hill climber guy.
No, I trail ride and do stuff, but I'm not a track guy. Hey, I will say this though. I do need to get better at track though.
Yeah.
Or is that what you do, is track and jumping?
I used to do nothing but motocross. That's all I would do, but whenever I was in Michigan, I really got into riding the sand dunes.
Dude, the dunes are fun. I went
Yeah.
to St. Anthony last year, and that's awesome. Yeah, so we actually are going to do something. We need to ride with each other, actually. We haven't done that.
Have you ridden in the snow yet?
Yeah, I do it every year. I rode in the snow the other day with the pit bikes. It's fun.
I want to get out there with my paddle tire.
In the snow?
Yeah.
I bet you'd be sweet, man.
You never tried it?
I know, the paddle. It'd be probably pretty insane.
I've ridden my paddle on dry dirt before.
Yeah?
Grass.
All right, here we are. Got my side flushed up. Austin's going to be flushing his side. The next KWI. That's just how the video goes. I edit it a certain way with a transition. Sweet. Yeah, Joe, cut that out. All right. Yeah, that's a lot better switching that Arc Force or the Hot Start.
It was digging.
Dude, that sucker was just like coming up through there, and it was just like a freight train, bro.
That first rod I struck up, look at all the burn spots.
It was all burnt up.
So how's your goon climbers doing?
The goon climber thing is doing pretty good, man. Just working on a system to teach people how to hill climb.
Yeah, I think the last time we spoke, that's what you were in the works of.
Well, and you figured it out just like I did. Once you stop traveling the road, it's very easy to get bored with a job close to the house.
It is.
And not bored in the sense that it's not fun, but just you need some more action in your life. You need some more just stuff going on. And that's what it was for me. Just had to start like a brand or something with dirt biking, and just like yourself, you like to do more than one thing at any given point in time. But yeah, it's going good. Everything's rocking and rolling. I'm not worried about it at all. It's pretty fun. But just trying to, I think I'm gonna have to start scheduling rides just because there's so much going on throughout the year. You know what I mean? Heck yeah. So what's something you've missed the most about traveling and welding?
The people, the co-workers, the friends that I've met along the way.
Just the crazy people that you can meet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having friends in all 50 states and being able to go anywhere and do anything at any given moment.
Right.
Pretty much choose your lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's not dictated by what comes in the shop doors every day like it is now.
Right.
I can go work here, I can go work here.
If you don't like it, I'm gonna go over here.
Exactly, yeah.
When it comes in the shop door, it's...
I have to deal with it no matter
right,
what.
yeah, I hear you. That's one of the downsides of, it's not a downside, but that's just one of the things that you have to weigh out is that gonna be worth it for an individual? You know, they got a lot of guys that really can't do a job close to the house. But also too, I think the biggest thing it comes down to, are you setting your life up to be able to work at the house, you know? Because a lot of people, they get in a situation where
they get themselves in a financial bind
and they have to stay doing it.
They have to stay welding to afford the financial hardship that they put themselves in.
Yep. And I think that's one of the biggest takeaways that I had with welding, and you could probably agree, is whenever someone gave me advice, like an old timer who was welding, I listened.
Always listen.
Because why are, you know, usually a lot of those older guys, they made the mistakes and they're still welding. Because I think the average age of a welder right now is 56 years old. Mm-hmm. So just those guys, if they give you a piece of advice, take that advice and run with it.
I've worked with many, many people way past retirement age.
Yep. That's because they got used to welding, making that big money, and blowing it on things that required them to stay doing it. Oh, my bad.
I was wondering if that was the post or your head.
He was like, I've been doing this for a while now. I know I'm not getting stuck up on a post. I guess for the we'll go back and forth for the cap.
Yeah.
Make it a little more enjoyable. Sweet.
I gotta grind a little spot right on the bottom. You got a cord?
Oh yeah, well, I think the grinder situation is going to be a little bit annoying though.
Okay, we can deal with it.
Wing it. You got it. Let me set this. I about knocked this over on me a minute ago.
I saw that.
I was welding and it was coming up. All right. Yeah. The hardest part of the cap is this first part. And I'm actually gonna have to go really fast right through there.
I see that.
Yeah, you got yours pretty well flush. I think I just sat too long right there. All right. Gee whiz, I'm almost capped.
It's better to be overflush than underflush.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, this first part's always just...
Now, whenever you're doing your cap on a weld test, do you like to score lines in it to follow for your first couple beads?
Nah.
No?
I just like to guess.
Whenever I was learning, that was my biggest help.
Is taking a cutting wheel?
Yep, take a cutoff wheel and score a couple lines. That way you have something good and true to follow.
Sweet.
I smell a cow burning in here.
Yeah, I know. I stepped on it or something hit me. I think I grabbed it with my glove. Not the best, but it'll shoot. All right. Yeah, we're also going to, at the end of this, we're going to judge the weld to see if it's like, here, let me scoot this over. Yeah, we're going to judge the weld and see if it's like a 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10. I think my side right here is gonna be like a,
What is our grinder situation? Do we have a cord?
right there.
Can we get it over here? Do we have a cord to get it over here?
Not really. Let's see what you can do. Let's see what the Snapp can do.
Let me hit the first one.
Huh?
Let me hit the first one. After that, we'll be all right.
All right.
So what's your favorite weld procedure?
Shoot, my favorite weld procedure.
TIG?
Take everything out, man.
TIG everything?
Yes, take
TIG
the
everything.
whole, TIG a heavy wall out, TIG everything out, man. Because you can add more metal and you can just keep going back like we've been doing. That's just, what about you?
After doing a lot of stick welding, I really enjoy stick welding boiler tubes, especially water wall.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's.
What job did you do that on? What company?
TEI.
When did they get into that?
One of their crews, they specifically weld all their water wall with stick rods for the cap.
Gotcha.
Yep, TIG root, stick everything else. Just for
now
the
that's stick fill?
Yeah, stick fill, stick cap.
Now thank you so much. What does a normal stick fill look like? Just one or?
No, it'll typically be one on the bottom, one on the top, then a cap.
Gotcha. Like how many beads for the cap?
3 bead cap.
Gotcha. Because I did that one time with me and Blake did that.
Yeah.
Up in
A lot of
PA.
people will try running a 2 bead cap, but it's too much metal to carry.
It's too hard. It's
Yeah.
like too risk inducing. Sweet. All right, now so you did your first job, you did your second job, you did the third job, and then a time frame of 6 years traveling and welding, and then 2 years at the shop. Mm-hmm. Would you ever go back to traveling and welding?
Only if it was under my company name and I could be the one benefiting from it in the end for the business.
Right, because now you're working for yourself, so why would you ever go back to working for someone else whenever you could just build your name and your company?
Exactly.
Right.
I will still typically hit 1 or 2 day emergency within a few hours from the house if needed, just because I do have those companies that know me as a good welder and they can depend on me. If they have something go down, I can get a phone call and be there within a couple hours and get their stuff fixed and get the unit back up and going, whatever it may be.
Right. Okay.
One time I drove to Morgantown, West Virginia, to that Longview power plant for a 1/2-inch socket weld that was leaking steam, pressurized steam. We had to shove cigarette butts in the hole in the pipe to keep steam from coming out and welded over top the cigarette butts.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then it all just, went through the tubes and whatnot when they started it up. So how many cigarettes did it take to do that?
3.
3 cigarette butts.
Yep,
We'll close up a tube.
Me, my foreman, and my boiler maker, we all sat there and smoked a cigarette and shoved them all in the hole.
Now, just going to let everybody know, Austin's cap is probably going to look a whole lot better than mine. Because I messed up my first bead. That's looking good. That first bead just gives me anxiety, man.
All your other beads depend on the first.
Yeah, I know. There ain't nothing a grinder can't fix. I'm telling you, it's a heck of a freaking push angle when we get up to the top.
It is. Well, this tube's like really bent in.
Yeah, yours is worse than mine. All right.
Well, that's how it is in the plants. Nothing's running parallel.
Nothing's parallel, nothing's right. Yeah, yours is all janked up right here.
Right here at the top, yeah.
We're making it happen, though. This is what it takes sometimes.
Hey, the rest will look good, though.
All right. There's something that I've been talking with a lot of students across the state of Kentucky about, and that's when you're in high school, the most important thing to focus on is getting good at structural welding. Don't worry about any kind of pipe welding in high school, because whatever, whenever you get to welding school, you're going to have to take the plate tests and things like that before you do the pipe. So if you aren't good at plate welding, when you get to welding school, you'll be stuck relearning plate in welding school because you didn't take the time to get good at plate welding in high school.
Yes, and that's partially where I struggle with. Like I said, my 1-inch open root, I had never done that before KWI, so it was a whole new learning experience. And if I had known what I was going to be stepping into, I could have prepared myself a little bit in high school, been working on my 60-10 vertical root,
exactly,
or 60-10 overhead root, and I could have stepped into it with that much more experience and been possibly 1 month, maybe even 2 months ahead of the skill level that I was at for the time of being in school.
Exactly.
What's your favorite material to weld?
Shoot, I think my favorite material is going to be probably chrome. I just like chrome because you can just crank the heat on it, man.
Yeah, chrome boiler tubes, about a 1/16 to 332 gap, burn in the root, 160 amps, and never touch your machine after that.
Nope. And I like chrome heater tubes. You would think they would be annoying to weld, and which they can be.
The 180s?
Yeah, the 180s and just the tubes in the heater, like a cabin heater, all the tubes going along the wall. But what I like about it is just like, I don't know, I like the smell of it, and it just looks chaotic.
Yeah.
You got cable everywhere and cables, and nobody knows whose water bottle is whose water bottle, and everybody's just trying to figure out what's going on. It's just very hectic, and I like it. But with that being said, I don't think I could do a new construction job nowadays because I'm so used to
the chaos,
wide open, chaotic, yeah. Now, maybe if I started on new construction and then did it, sure, but I don't think I could do it nowadays. Just because I'd always be waiting on something to happen, you know?
Yeah, new construction is very slow paced. If you're a fast paced person, you need to be on a turnaround or a boiler shutdown because it is non-stop action. Especially during demo.
Yeah.
Be on your toes and ready to work your butt off. What's the dirtiest job you ever worked?
Shoot. Probably dirtiest job. Let me think on that, because I've done a lot of crappy jobs. Geez, I think the dirtiest one that I ever been on was I was in Port Arthur, Texas at Valero, and there's just oil everywhere. There was just oil, and I had to wear a freaking Tyvek all the time, and it was cold, dude.
Yeah.
Like, man. I remember walking in one day like, golly, why am I at this place?
The dirtiest job I've ever worked was in Petersburg, Indiana for TEI. And we come out there covered in fly ash every single day from head to toe. It was, you couldn't keep from getting dirt in your underwear.
Jeez. Even with Tyvek?
Yeah, even with Tyvek.
Oh man.
Because we were gouging out crown seals in the penthouse.
And you're reaching in there. And...
Well, the crown seals are right on the floor.
Right.
And you've got the tubes.
That's what I'm saying, but you had to reach back in there to get those, right?
Laying down,
yeah.
reaching.
That's what I'm saying.
With the arc gouger blowing all this fly ash stuff around you with a full respirator.
Dude, that's horrible, man. Full face?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you had to.
The other dirtiest job that I have worked was a biodiesel plant in New Haven, Connecticut.
Okay.
They took cooking oil and butcher shop remnants and rendered it down into biodiesel.
Jeez. And so y'all were welding the pipes associated with taking that from one place to another?
We were. We installed a new 60,000 gallon tank and ran all the lines to it there.
Gotcha.
And done a lot of work in the tank farm as well. Set a couple pumps, ran some biodiesel lines, ran some oil lines. It was a really good job there. That was another small company that I worked for. No weld test, no drug test, just showed up and started working.
Really?
Yeah, paying $45 and $120.
Now, how many of those just show up and start working jobs have you been on?
4.
4, okay.
But typically, I already have somebody I know that's there
right.
that rec me on.
Get you on,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
All right. 2 more beads, huh?
Yeah. We need to do another series of this in the shop, in my shop.
Yeah, we will. We can do part 2 there.
Have you talked to Wally about skiing or snowboarding this year?
I have. I don't think I'll be able to make it out there to do that though.
Yeah.
That'll probably have to be something that you hit up with him about, but he loves it, man.
Yeah.
Have you been to Colorado?
I have not. I've only been to Wyoming and Idaho.
Have you seen the stuff going on there right now with the Vail resorts?
I've heard about the strike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody's walking up the hill that paid for season passes.
No, I haven't heard that.
Oh yeah, it's gnarly, man. A lot of places in Colorado right now are just like, there's no workers, the lifts are shut down, people paid a lot of money.
Well, Paoli Peaks in Indiana got bought out by Vail, and it's getting poorly ran this year too.
Oh yeah. That's just, I don't know firsthand, I just
Yeah.
see it on TikTok or whatnot. So yeah, that's just another thing I'm kind of like holding off for right now, going to Colorado to snowboard ski. That's like my best bead that I've got on this so far. The rest of them are just all janked out. I think I need to work on my bottom and make it the same speed all the way. It's getting chilly in here, I'll tell you that. For those of you who don't know, we got a little heater in this building, and so we turn it on when we're not, shooting some footage, and then we got it off right now, and we've had it off for a little bit, so it's kind of cold. But I don't want to stop this weld. This weld's going.
I'm comfortable.
Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable too.
Anytime I'm welding, I'm comfortable.
I'm a little bit chilly. My toes are a little cold. But also, you're focused on the weld, so you're not too worried about a lot of other things.
Another big tip for new guys on the road: the heat is in the tools. Don't quit working, and you won't get cold.
You just got to hammer down.
Yep, hammer down, stay busy, stay moving, keep welding.
Yeah, because you won't. Because honestly, if that's the case, it's all mental. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Coldest job I ever worked was in Moundsville, West Virginia. We went into work one day. The real feel was -24.
-24?
Yeah. West
Virginia?
Yeah.
Why is West Virginia cold? Because the coldest job I ever been on was Martinsburg, PNG.
Yeah.
That cracked my my rear view mirrors, my little door mirrors, bro.
Yeah.
What's up with West Virginia being cold?
Last speed on the cap. Have you ever welded on a boat?
I haven't. Well, I welded on the oar rig, but it didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't move it anywhere near as fast as what you think, to where you could tell it was so slow.
Anytime we'd be up in a man lift, in a big boom lift, it would start shaking, and I had a fitter. He'd be like, "Are you experienced welding on a boat?"
Water, yeah. I think that's all right. Yeah, it turned out pretty good for a last speed. My first two or three are bad. Nope, no, not really. Not that I know of right now.
I don't see any.
All right, and you got your last one. Yeah, both of our first speeds were kind of janky. All right, we're working on the last couple beads on the cap. I got my side capped off. Austin's working on his last bead. Oh, you blew it.
Oh no, what the heck?
You ruined it. It's over. You might as well just fire up straight in the dome.
I'd ruin that rod, yeah.
Hold on, where's that saw blade? Let me get this little piece of...
And if you're learning to stick weld now, get used to using your rod stubs. Get good at restarts.
Right. That's the biggest thing, is restarts. The only exception is if you're taking a weld test. Use fresh rods, but Austin's gonna show you right here that you don't have to have a fresh rod. You may need one, I don't know.
Nah.
You good? Can you make it?
Oh yeah.
All right. It's pretty good, huh? Tune your side up. Now, how many years did it take you to feel really comfortable with welding and not worrying about it so much?
3.
That's what I always tell people.
Yeah.
3 years, you'll...
3 years it takes you to build the confidence to where you don't get nervous for a weld test. You don't get nervous for the first weld on the job.
That's what I always tell people, 3 years. If you can make it through the first 3 years, you'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of doubts in that too, though, man. Like, I had a hard time just not worrying so much. I would just overthink everything.
It is what it is. There's always another job down the road.
Yep.
I about got your thumb there.
I know you did. It's all good. It's not a bad. What would you say that is out of 10?
6.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm gonna say a 6. Yeah, I'm gonna say a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, 6 out of 10.
It's
I
talking
agree.
and welding. Your first time welding in one of these in a while.
The last time I welded a monster. When was the last time I welded a monster?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad.
The last time I welded a monster was in KWI in 2021.
Really?
Or 2022.
And the other times you just got on the job because you knew somebody.
Yeah, well, either that or I was already weld tested for them.
Right. Gotcha.
TEI, DZ, a lot of the boiler companies, my certs stay good for 6 months to a year, depending on what company.
Gotcha.
So if I worked at least once a year with them, I was good.
Right.
Then there's also another job. It was an emergency job. Never weld tested, never filled out paperwork, just showed up, welded, and got paid. That was...
I mean, that's hard to beat too.
Yeah.
Because weld testing is just a hassle sometimes. Yeah, interesting. So, me and Austin got to ride dirt bikes together again soon, and we'll probably do a part 2 with me and Austin welding. We might do, I don't know, some 6-inch or 10-inch pipe, stick welding that.
Or we can get you welding at the fab shop.
Yeah,
I got a lot of projects going on.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll do like
Put you working on some of my stuff.
Yeah, we'll do a tour of the fab shop and check that out.
Yeah.
But hey guys, if you want to see more information on the Kentucky Welding Institute, check out our social media. We have different events coming up that we post regularly about on there. If you want to get a hold of me, hit us up on our emails at kwi.us, which is our website, and then also my email is keegan@kwi.us. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for our next video. And we had Austin Snapp, and we appreciate his time and coming here today and welding with us.
Good
So,
time.
Thank you so much,
Can't
buddy.
wait to do it again.